Giro d'Italia was all set to go under sunny skies at Venaria Reale, where it had previously begun in 2011. Then it was a team time trial. Then was the era before this current generation of superstars. It's a weekend, short and sharp, with plenty of possibilities for strong performances, and that is what we got. A 140-kilometre stage, finishing in Turin, heading up to Superga on the anniversary, the 75th anniversary of the tragic air disaster there. A final loop including Colle Maddalena, 2 climbs up San Vito, topping. Plenty going on then, and there'll be plenty going on right from the start. The flag was on, but when the action started, it was non-stop. Kilometres for a 6-man break to form. And when they got away, they built up an advantage that didn't get too big at all. Barret on debut with De Beaumarchais, Calmerjan, Gebre-Xabier, Pietro Bon and Fiorelli all involved, and that advantage not growing too much above 1 minute and 40 seconds, led of course the chase by UAE Emirates. San Pietro was the first climb, and there was going to be quite a few points for the King of the Mountains on the menu for the day. It was a sprinter though who was going after them at the start. Filippo Fiorelli, the man from down south in Sicily, doing the job up north in Piemonte. He was there to pick up the 3 points on offer. Gebre-Xabier taking 1, Barret taking a couple. Behind, things didn't change too much. Pace. To the next climb, just under 70 kilometres to go. The group still staying together and having their biggest advantage at almost 2.5 minutes. Superga next up, an poignant moment in front of the many Torino supporters commemorating the moment where 75 years previous on this very day, a tragic air crash had killed the entirety of the greatest football team on the planet. The break broke up on that climb. Gebre-Xabier and Calmerjan going and almost going the wrong way on the way down. We got a unique view as they descended towards Turin. And almost 3 minutes on the peloton at this stage. A little chat between the 2 riders at the front. Calmerjan, the Frenchman, a former stage winner at the Vuelta and the Tour. Calmerjan took the sprint points for the Inter Giro, and behind, well, the remaining points were mopped up by Jonathan Milan. Gebre-Xabier would then make his move. First time up San Vito, no points at the top of this one though. He was hoping to keep the move going long enough to take the points on the Colle Maddalena. Others had other ideas behind though. Christophe Laporte being dropped with the pace being put on by Domen Novak, too much for him. The second category, Colle Maddalena, one of the most difficult climbs in the opening week, was then to be taken on. And it was taken on at furious pace by UAE Emirates. First Mikel Biel, then Grossschartner, and eventually, of course, Maika. Even Matteo Trentin was feeling the heat. But others were too. The likes of Arendsman were dropped. That was a big, big story for the Ineos Grenadiers. The man who'd finished 6th the previous year, already losing big time. He wouldn't be only victim though. Romain Bardet would be next. Real options and talk of a podium coming into this, and Luc Platt would also lose some time. Another group started to break off the front, this time led by Conchi. Honoré was there, Schachmann as well. Pellizzari was in the chase. And Calmerjan, after having taken the Kings of the Mountains jersey, just about caught with 10Ks to go. Final intermediate sprint was taken by Damiano Caruso. He would pick 3 bonus seconds up, important for a man who's previously finished 2nd in the Giro. Going into the final climb of San Vito though, the peloton weren't far behind. Or what was left of the peloton, that was. Pogaçar then made his move. 4 kilometres remain, and he was followed and tracked. Sticking to his back wheel was Jonathan Narvaez. Pellizzari was there as well. And Nicola Conchi the man who'd stolen a march right at the bottom, was resisting. But for how long? Well, just a couple of 100 metres from the top, he was caught. Into the red. The man in the green, though, Schachmann, not far off both national champions of Slovenia and Ecuador. Was it going to be Pogaçar on debut? Could Schachmann get back in? Well, he did with just a kilometre to go. These three were going to take it, but which one? Narvaez not having raced much this year. Schachmann coming back to his best. Pogaçar in dominant form since the turn of the year. Schachmann launching the sprint. Pogaçar going from quite a way as well. Narvaez coming through the centre. The winner of a Giro d'Italia stage 4 years before this. He'd be there, he'd fight hard, and despite Pogaçar regaining, Schachmann coming close, Narvaez would take the win and the first Maglia Rosa. It would be Schachmann second, Pogaçar third, and then a group of riders coming over at 20 seconds. Delight for Jonathan Narvaez. A stage win at the Giro d'Italia and a good start for the Ineos Grenadiers on one hand, but of course disappointment on another, with Arendsman having lost over 2 minutes. This the sprint that showed Narvaez could beat Pogaçar, and Schachmann in the game too. 4 vital bonus seconds though for Pogaçar, and time put into his rivals. Plenty of damage done on the opening day, but the first Maglia Rosa going for Jonathan Narvaez. Both Eddie Merckx and Gianni Bugno were safe in the knowledge that their start-to-finish records are safe for another year. Narvaez winning the stage then. Top 10-2 for Thomas, who reacted well. Tiberi up there with Falter von Sevenant, Hermons as well. And of course, honourable mention for Conchi, who was so combative, hoping to take the Maglia Rosa for Italy for the first time since 2021. They'll have to wait for that because it's going to Ecuador and Jonathan Narvaez. Narvaez leading the Giro d'Italia going into day 2, and Tadej Pogaçar stealing a march on the rest of his contenders. Well, day 2, they'll be pedalling in the shadows of Marco Pantani, 25 years after he did his dance in 1999 up Europa, overtaking almost 50 riders. The peloton return again. They've been here in the last few years as well. A victory for Dumoulin more recently. A couple of climbs on the way, and once they hit Biella, it's up the hill to Europa. The first mountain-top finish of this Giro d'Italia, and another short stage at 160 kilometres. Stage 2 will be live on Eurosport, Discovery Plus, and in the US on Max.